Own It TV presents Approaches to Selling Part 1. Making it yourself. When producing one-off artistic work in an applied art context, it's not at all clear which intellectual property right applies. Jewellery designer Ruth Tomlinson talks about her working practice, from developing her collections and working with retailers to producing bespoke pieces for clients.
I have 5 collections to date, starting with the Flora and the Sketch collections. These are batch produced. I've been developing them and making them for 10 years this year. They evolve over the years, so colourways may change, designs may alter slightly. These are some examples of my Flora collection, and these pieces are made using porcelain and silver. Each of the porcelain units I make and fire them in the studio. The other collections are the incrustations and the hoard, which I developed during my time at Royal College. They started off as sort of unique pieces, but then evolved into a collection over the years. I use stones, both old and new, and found materials, silver and gold, for those collections. And then lastly, the wedding and engagement collection. This is an example of one of the wedding engagement rings. It's made using a natural brown diamond. So each ring is actually made for the stone, because the natural diamonds vary quite a lot. So they are made in a similar way, similar fashion and design, but each one is made individually, so they vary slightly.
Ruth is an artist and she produces artistic works which are jewellery. However, she also sells that jewellery. The difference between what she does as an artist and what she does as a business is really the difference between copyright works and design right in law. Copyright works are protected as purely artistic works, so artistic creations such as paintings, etc., are copyright works. However, design right is, if you like, applied art, so it's artistic skill applied to a product which is thereby improved in terms of its marketability as a result of the artistic value, the aesthetic appeal of it.
I sell my collections directly to clients through the website, also through appointments at in my London studio, and also through high-end sort of craft and jewellery fairs such as Origin and Goldsmiths, which are in London. Wholesale, I sell through small galleries and boutiques, both, in London, New York and Europe. These galleries order through me exhibiting at trade fairs, both in New York and Germany. The other place that I sell my work would be through the sort of high-end applied arts shows, through a gallery, and they are like Collect at the Saatchi Gallery and Sofa in Santa Fe in America, and they're more focused towards the collectors market.
Ruth does a lot of commissioned works where she might be commissioned to create a piece of jewellery for a client, either a one-off or a limited edition series. In those circumstances, there is uncertainty as to whether what she's creating is a copyright work or an industrial design, a design right. When that's the case, she should have a contract in place with her client for 2 reasons. The first is because she wants to avoid that uncertainty, and the contract can expressly state who owns the intellectual property rights in that work. The second is that she wants to have the commercial terms of that arrangement certain as well, so how it will work and having a clear circumstances surrounding the deal. If Ruth doesn't have a contract, then English law again is uncertain as a result. If the work she creates is a copyright work, purely artistic and seen that way, then she may retain the ownership of the rights. If it's a design right, under English law, that might actually transfer to the client automatically. And so she might end up in a situation where the client automatically owns those rights.
I think it's really important to have really professional, good pictures taken, because then they're more likely to get used in promoting the gallery and myself as the maker. Some sort of websites will take pictures of their own, of my work, so it's within their brand. It might be on a black or white background.
Ruth also sells her jewellery a lot at wholesale, for example, to galleries who then sell them on. In those circumstances, she does that without a written contract. So she does it on the basis of an oral contract. In those circumstances, she really needs to take off her artist's hat and put on her commercial hat, because although she gets paid for those pieces of jewellery wholesale, and that's all fine, having a contract in place is not just about getting paid. It's also about controlling that commercial relationship. So, for example, where she might have circumstances where she perhaps provides images of her jewellery to the galleries to use, she might want to control how they use them. So the contract can have terms that show how she controls their use.
Producing works of artistic craftsmanship, having a close relationship with your retailers, and selling works mainly wholesale are working practices that do require some consideration of intellectual property. As we have seen, it's worth drafting clear agreements with your clients and retailers to avoid uncertainty and, ultimately, time-consuming and expensive disputes. For further information on the legal issues mentioned in this film, visit Own It, the only intellectual property advisory service tailored to the needs of businesses in the creative sector.